All right, come have a seat, guys. So I don't know about you, but there are certain words, certain things that really are like, get me more awake in the moment. Like when people say somebody deserves something, whether it's good or bad. I don't like that term, deserve. But I hear a lot on TV and everything about, especially this time of year, we should be generous, especially this time of year. We should care about other people that are hungry or needy, especially this time of year, or worried about animals that are left outside or mistreated, especially this time of year. But the truth is, people are hungry all year round. Animals are abused all year round. And we need to be connected to each other and enough to know that the generosity in our heart is there all the time. And it's important to extend our heart and our hand all year round. We should set our intention to be a little bit more generous, a little bit more compassionate, just enough so that we remember that we're so blessed to have what we have, and that there's always enough to give a little bit more, to give a little bit. So with that intention, I want you to sit up tall, draw your shoulder blades down your back, lift your heart, close your eyes, and come to your breath. Know that our heart follows our actions. So when we give, when we're expansive, and we do something compassionate, it opens our heart, it rises our spirit, it feeds our soul. Deepen your breath till you find a nice rhythm of your breath. In through your nose and out. Make sure your shoulder blades are melted down your back and the front of your heart lifts up. And every time we do something for somebody else, we contribute some money to somebody, to something. I know I'm big into feeding people. Know that every time we do it, it only gives us more. Take 2 more breaths, just like that. And then slowly open your eyes. And just extend your left arm over to the right. I like to take my right hand to the earth and come back to center and over to your left. Just start moving. Right and left, moving with the breath. Take your elbow towards the earth, reaching the opposite. Oh, yeah. But you're moving with your breath. So the exhale extends, the inhale draws you back, keeps you right into this space in the center. Inhale and exhale. Take 1 more on each side. We're just going to do a lot for flexibility today, guys. That is my plan. Good. So then take your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers, lift your heart, and start getting into your hip flexors just a little bit. So that means you don't round your back. It means you just tip forward and then just see where you go. Lifting your arms up off your back, getting a nice stretch in your upper back. Take a breath here. And then come all the way up to center. Oh, yeah. Take your left hand to your right knee, get a nice twist, reaching your left hand back, making sure it's nice and firm, looking over your right shoulder. Good, big full breath. Mm-hmm. Inhale, circle your arms all the way up, and exhale the other way. Oh, yeah. Here we go. And inhale back to center. Now you're going to extend your legs nice and long in front of you, and this is where you might want to strap. So Option one is to grab your ankle or grab your big toe with your first two fingers, or take your strap around the sole of your right foot. You decide how far forward you can go. And as you inhale, you're going to lift your leg up and then bend your right knee just past your right armpit. And then as you exhale, you're going to lengthen your legs and fold forward. Just find that fold. You'll get a stretch in your low back and in the hamstrings. Good. So inhale. Oh, yeah. And exhale. Fold. And you'll notice that by the third or fourth one, it's not as odd or as difficult as the first one. It's like habits. We open our hearts, it becomes a habit. Two more just like that. Reach it back, and forward, and back. Oh, forward. One more time. Make sure it's edgy. Go all the way to the edge of the movement. Nice, girls. And all the way back. Forward fold. And come all the way up to center. I want you to notice how your right leg is a little bit more grounded than the left. And so now we're going to go to the left, either with your strap or holding on to your shin or your ankle or binding with your left big toe. Come to your breath as you inhale, your left knee back behind your armpit and fold forward. Oh, yeah. And inhale. Oh, yeah. And exhale. And take a few more on the left. Notice how we go slow and mindful. Noticing how it feels in our hearts and in our bodies. Two more on the side. Inhale. Finding the breath. Last one. All the way back. And forward. And come back to center. Now you're going to take your feet to the earth and your hands behind you, shoulder blades back. Now this is for the flexibility of our spine. So you're going to lift your hips looking up at the earth, up at the sky, and then lower your hips, extending your legs forward and circle your arms and fold forward. And then you're going to come back up. Hands behind you, bend your knees, lift your heart, lift your hips. And then exhale, lengthen your legs and find the whole breath. So there's a lot of movement with each breath, right? And that's okay, right? You got plenty of time. So there's a lot of impediments to generosity. They say it's ego, but I think it's fear of not enough. But you find if you give, then you even have more. Let's take two more just like that. Bend your knees, lift your hips, look up. Oh, yeah. Your hips will say thank you. Last one, lift. And all the way forward. Draw your knees to your chest, give yourself a hug, maybe even a smile. And then you'll cross your shins, roll forward and make your way to table pose, hands and knees. And maybe make your way into some cats and cows. This is a very typical flexibility move, which is really great. Good. You can even take some hip circles here because it's going to get a little bit more interesting, but your hips should be ready for this. Yeah. Now come back to center. I don't know what's going on with my clothes. I hope it's not the pumpkin pie. Okay. Okay. You're going to take your right knee out to the right, but you're going to hold it for a breath. An inhale and an exhale. and then take it back to center. If you can gaze forward, hold it for a breath, and back to center. So your gaze is slightly forward, not down, you're not dumping your head. Back. And just feel what you feel. Notice how it engages your core. And eventually, you're not going to like it quite as much as you did at the beginning, which is what I want you to do. I don't want it to be difficult. We're going to do 3 more. 3. Carving that little space of quiet to set our intention. 2. Last one. Good. Now, just when you think you're done, you're going to take your right knee back behind you. So make sure your knee is at 90 degrees, guys. Your hip points are square to the earth, which means your right inner thigh is going to reach up to the ceiling. And then you're going to lower. And again, you're going to lift and just hold it for breath. And then lower. And lift and squeeze your right glute. And lower. And in this way, it's quite a little bit of a meditation. And lower. Good. 8. And lower. 7. 6. Squeeze it, flex your ankle. 5. And lower. 4. 3. Hold it. 2. Want to feel a little fire in the bum? All right, last one. Most excellent. And back to center. And just take some hip circles here. Oh, yeah. Just stretch out your left hip, which was the hip that really took most of the stretch there. Good. Now, I want you to extend your right arm all the way up. We're going to get some flexibility right into our shoulders. So open up, find a little twist, and then you're going to thread the needle so that your right shoulder reaches towards the earth, but then you're just going to open it up again. So see if you can include your core here while you're at it. And exhale, reaching your right shoulder towards the earth. And inhale, opening up your heart. Literally, exhale. Good. Inhale all the way up. Oh. And take one more just like that. Inhale up. Now you're going to land. You're going to thread your right shoulder all the way to the earth or to a block. And extend your left fingertips forward, taking your left elbow towards the space behind your head. Take the back of your head back. Now, if you want to extend your left leg out to the left, that's a nice big stretch, not only in your shoulder, but in your hips. And just take a breath here. Good. And make your way back through table pose, hands and knees. Now, come onto your tiptoes as you take your hips back and start to roll your sit bones up to the ceiling so your knees are super bent, right? And your hips are back. Check in with your breath as you slide your bum up, but you're going to stay on your tiptoes. Now, you might want to widen your feet just a little bit. Your belly's back. You're going to stay on your tiptoes. We're going to articulate our spine here. That means every vertebra is going to just kind of flow to the next. So I want you to look at your belly, round your back as you come forward, And as you come forward towards plank, the last thing that's going to come up is your head. Then you're going to lower your knees towards the earth, take your hips back, and then come all the way back up. And imagine your whole spine is going to just round and then come straighten when you come into that plank. All the way up, hips up, round your back, gaze forward. This is called water wheel, guys. All the way back, hips up, and really round your back to lengthen it. We're going to take 2 more just like that. And exhale. Oh, yeah. Last one, this time around. Stay on your tiptoes, round your back, and then straighten it out. Come into a plank, and then lower your knees to the earth. Good. Now you're going to take your left knee out to the left, and you're going to take a breath. So left knee out to the left, take a breath, and back to center. So you know what you're doing. When you get that breath, when you're done, you can come back to center. Keep your gaze forward and your belly engaged. So everything we do is core work too. So you can close your eyes and just let your breath guide you here. Now count from 8. Yeah. 7. 6. Is your imaginary gaze or your gaze slightly forward? I'm hoping. 5. 4. 3. Yeah, so slow. 2. Last one to the left. And back. All right, now you're going to take your left knee, keep it 90 degrees, 2 points square, and you're going to lift the left hip up. Lift it, squeeze the left glute, belly back, and slowly lower. Shoulder blades are hugged together. Heart is soft towards the earth and lower. And squeeze. Good, and lower. All right, now we're going to count from 8 really patiently so we can really notice. 7. Stay here with me. 6. 5. Lower. 4. 3. 2. Last one. Squeeze it all the way back down. Oh yeah, take some hip circles here. I'm hoping you're feeling what I'm feeling. All right, now come back through table. Extend your left arm up. Make sure the right ribs roll forward, your belly's back. And then you're going to thread the needle, taking your left shoulder towards the earth. And then inhale, open it up like you're opening up your heart, your palm, generosity. And all the way back down. And inhale. Exhale, good. Take 2 more just like that, really open it up. Get a nice connection in your shoulder. Last one like this. Good. Now you're going to thread the needle, lower your left shoulder towards the earth. Good. Walk your right hand forward and maybe extending your right leg out to the right. And then really lean back. Take a few breaths here. Your shoulder blades hug together. Oh, yeah. Good. And back through table. And back into water wheel. So you're on your tiptoes. You're going to take your hips back and look at your belly. Stay on your tiptoes. Really lift and maybe even widen your feet. And then roll your spine forward. Soften your knees, taking your hips back. And lift up. So your gaze is towards your belly. And then the last thing to come forward is your head, your neck, and back. 2 more times, just like that. Inhale and exhale, last one. Okay. And right into down dog. And then walk your dog. Oh yeah. Now you could walk your feet to your hands or your hands to your feet. Whatever feels good in this forward fold. See if you can release your chest, your head towards your thigh bones. Take a breath as you press your feet down and inhale. Circle your arms all the way up. Good. And bring your palms together to your heart center. Good. Now widen your stance wide, toes out, and come into a little bit of a, we call this a goddess. You're a goddess, right? Of course. Good. Now we're going to stay kind of low. Taking your hands to your thigh bones, you're going to reach your right shoulder towards your left knee, and you're going to take the right hip back, so you're going to lengthen the whole right side of your body. And then inhale back to center. You can already feel the length in the right side, so now let's do that on the left. Left shoulder towards your right knee. And inhale back to center. And continue just like that. Exhale. Effortful. Exhale. Come back to center. A few more just like that. And left. One more on each side. Really being present. You have to go step right to the edge of your effort, because no matter how much you have, we still have an obligation to give of ourselves. Come back to center and all the way up to center. Walk your feet together. Shoulder blades down your back. Inhale, circle your arms up, grab your left wrist and lift. Exhale to the right. Good. Inhale back to center. Grab your right wrist, lift. Exhale to your left. Whoa. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, look halfway up. Oh, my back feels good already. And step all the way back to plank with your knees either up or down. You know what to do, but your shoulder blades are going to be hugged together. And being here is really important, right? So take a few breaths here. Good. Then you're going to lower your knees. Take your bum back a little bit, just a little. Walk your hands back just a few inches. And you're going to soften your chest towards the earth, feeling like a bit of a push-up. And then you're going to slide your chest forward, shoulder blades down your back. Good. With your pelvis reaching to the earth, take your palms back and lift your heart, lift your chest. Now, with your pubic bone grounded, you can widen your legs, lengthen your legs, come all the way up. You can even move side to side, getting lots of length. Inhale up, finding some little pulses with the breath. Good. Now take your hands beside your upper ribs. Take your toenails back to the earth. Make your way into a cobra. Oh yeah, or up dog. Exhale, down dog. Oh, nice, good. And walk the dog. Good. Now take your knees back to the earth. Now you're going to take your right knee out to the right, but you're going to do it a little quicker. And come back to center. And out and back. And this is going to get a little bit deeper into the core. Your gaze is slightly forward. Your head is not dumped. So in other words, your gaze is slightly forward. Good. Good. 8. Exhale. Find your rhythm. 3, 2, last 1. Now right back behind you. You're going to find that little squeeze in the right glute, and you should feel the heat pretty quick. Yeah. And back just towards center. And 8, 7, 6, 5. Exhale. 2, 1. Now we're going to take 8 little pulses up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And back to center. Staying on the right side, you're going to take your right elbow up to the ceiling, opening it up. So now your elbow's bent, your chest is going to roll towards the right. And then you're going to take your right elbow just outside your left elbow, and that's going to get into your core. And then inhale up. So it takes the right scapula towards the spine, but it gets right into the core. Good. And inhale. Good. Eight. See if you can tap your right elbow outside the left. 6. Take your time. 5. 4. 3. 2. Can you smile? Last one, really squeeze the core. Come back to table. Take some hip circles. And again, water wheel onto your tiptoes, taking your hips back. Slide your bum up. Look at your belly. So you're going to round your back. The scapula is going to come away from the spine. And as you come forward, you hug the shoulder blades together. You gaze forward. Then slowly, lower your knees. Draw your hips back. Bum up. Round your back. So you go from cat, kind of come from a cat back, right into a plank. We're just going to take 2 more just like that. Oh yeah, last one. All the way back to a plank. And lower your knees back to the earth. Now, guys, let's just stretch out our wrists. So I want you to flip your palms up so that your fingers are aiming towards you and your thumbs are aiming toward each other. And then find a little cat stretch here. You'll get a nice stretch in your wrists. You're doing a lot here. Even take your hips back a little and get a nice little stretch. More stretch in your wrists. Good. And then come all the way up onto your knees. Take your palms in front of you, shoulder blades down your back. And you're just going to tip back towards your heels and come back up. Imagine your whole spine, the whole backside of your body is nice and long. You're going to start warming up those quads because that's where we're going eventually. Going to take a few more and let's just give our wrists a little break. All right, one more just like that. Yeah. And back to center. And back to table. Now you're going to take your left knee out to the left. Belly back. Reach it out and back. Your gaze is going to stay forward. I'm going to look towards you every now and then, just to make sure everything's going all right. But you don't have to worry about those things. Just move. Exhale. Exhale. Good. Good. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 1. Last one. Now, keeping your knee 90, left knee at 90 degrees, draw it back behind you, flexing the left ankle, getting into the left glute, and lower, and lift, and lower, and squeeze. Exhale. Yeah. So you should feel a fire start in the left glute pretty quick. And your right glute's pretty cooked up too. So we're going to do 8 more here. 8, 7. Good. 3 more. 3, 2. Last one. And then 8 little pulses, but slow, not quick. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and release. All right, left elbow back. Get that shoulder blade hugging the spine. And then the left elbow to the outside of the right elbow, right into the core. Get it? Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Six. All the way. 5. 4. 3. 2. Last one. And right into down dog. Make sure your fingerprints and the base of your fingers are grounded, not your wrists. Roll your inner elbows forward, get a nice dog. Good. Now you're going to spin your heels to the right and press into the left fingertips and the roots of the left finger, taking the left hip back, getting a nice length there. Big full breath. Good. Now come back through center and spin to the right, pressing through your right fingerprints. I mean, the heels go to the left, but your right fingerprints reach down, your right outer hip draws back. Good. Lengthening, lengthening, and breathing. Make your way once again through center, walking your feet to your hands to your feet. And now we're going to play with all that flexibility. So press your feet down and circle your arms all the way up. Exhale, palms together to your heart center. Now bend your knees deep, shins forward, bum back. Exhale, take your palms together, twist to your right, keeping your left hip drawn back. You don't even have to go as deep as this, it doesn't matter. Right? Inhale, back to center. Exhale to your left. Take your right outer hip back, open it up. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, look halfway up. Exhale, you know what to do with your plank, either up or down. And then let's just take a regular half vinyasa if you're down, and just make your way into a cobra or an up dog. Oh yeah, and right into a down dog. Inhale, lift your right leg up behind you, bend your right knee, open your right hip. You might even come onto the tiptoes of your left foot again. I do that a lot because I think I really need it in my shins. Extend your right leg back. Exhale, step your right foot forward, preparing for warrior one. Press your feet down. You can always take your right hand to your right side to help yourself up. And then circle your arms all the way up. You're into a warrior one. Now you're going to bend your elbows, take your palms and forearms back. Good. And then you're going to tip forward and squeeze your forearms together. Getting into the core, inhale back. Exhale. So make sure the forward comes from the top of the pelvis. Good, and not from a rounded back. And you shouldn't need one because we really open a lot of flexibility in your spine. Good, inhale. Exhale. We're just going to be playing in these poses. Last one. Good. Inhale all the way back, extend your arms all the way up, stay low in warrior one, and then move right into a warrior two. Good. Now you're going to flip your palms up, so it's going to come from the shoulders all the way up and all the way down. So your thumbs are going to roll behind you, coming into straight legs, and up and down, and up. Yeah. So when you offer something, we always have something. As long as we have food on the table and a roof over our head, we have so much to give. It's all such a gift. It's so arbitrary. I think about the people in Mumbai and even in Delhi. Roll, take one more roll up, roll down, make your way back to warrior two. And then you're going to take your right forearm to your right side, lifting the right waist, extend your left arm long, stay low in your hips. Yeah. Then take your bum back and start lengthening right into a triangle pose. And lift up a little bit and reach a little deeper into your triangle. Moving with the breath, inhale, exhale. Good, inhale. So it's just the first one around. Okay, right? Come into your triangle. Then take your left hand to the earth, and you're going to step back to dog, or you can take a half vinyasa, whatever feels right. You can have your knees up or down, doesn't matter. You choose. Good. Inhale, lift your left leg up behind you, bend your left knee, open the left hip. Really kick your left bum, because we're getting into the quads later. Extend your left leg long. Exhale, step your left foot forward. Let's get right into warrior one on the left, circling your arms up, seeing if you can really settle in and notice a difference on the left to the right. Bend your elbows, taking the forearms back, and then exhale, lean forward and squeeze into a prayer of gratitude. Inhale, how much can I open my heart? Exhale in gratitude. Inhale, open up your heart. You know, sometimes it's just circumstance. A lot of times it's just circumstance. Where you're born, your parents are, it's always that way. Take two more times, just like that. Exhale. Inhale. Last one. Inhale up, extend your arms all the way up, opening your heart to a big warrior one, and exhale right into warrior two without turning around. You can help it. Good. Now, you're going to take your elbows back behind you as you lengthen both legs, shoulder blades down your back, and press, press, press that ego away, the one that says not enough, the fear away. There's enough. Inhale, come back, elbows behind you. Exhale, press it away from you. Yeah. Our lower self says, oh, fear, 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 there's not enough. But we press it away, we say, ah, yes, I've got plenty. Let's take a few more just like that. Press it away, stay deep. 2 more times. Oh, yeah. Keep your right shoulder back and your left thigh bone back. Good. Now you're going to be really low. Take your left forearm to your left thigh, lifting the left waist. Stay low, stay low, stay low. And you decide what you want to do with your right arm. It depends on your shoulder. Good, stay low. Good. Now take your bum back just enough so you can lengthen both your legs into a lovely triangle. And I know every time I come to the first triangle, I get a nice little, I can feel some snap, crackle, pop. Things are opening, things are stretching. Good. Find your breath. And take your right hand back to the floor. And step your right foot forward beside your left, forward fold. Oh, yeah. Press your feet down and circle your arms all the way up and bring your palms together to your heart center. So we're going to do one balancing thing before we do our second vinyasa. So you might want a wall or a chair. You're going to soften your knees. And we've opened our hips quite a bit. So come onto the tiptoes of your right foot. Bring your weight into your left foot. Look at something that's not moving. And maybe you lift your right foot up. This is enough. You can take your palms out beside you. Or you can cross your right ankle over your left thigh and come into a fierce warrior on one foot. Taking your hips back, your left shin is forward. And just breathe into it. Your hips are as ready as they're going to be, right? And all the way back up. Take the hip circle here. One way, the other. And then let's do the other side. Again, find a place where you might want a wall or a chair, stepping into your right foot, softening both knees. And then find that place that feels right. Even if you keep your left foot lifted or on your left toes, that's wonderful. Every step of the way is the pose. So find your breath. See if you can just imagine yourself with your palms open, an offering of your heart. Yes. They even have monthly subscriptions to Feed America. That's my thing, is feeding people. Capuchin Kitchen. And then come all the way back to center. And palms together to your heart center. All right, last vinyasa. Shins forward, bum back. Inhale, circle your arms up. So we've done this. Find your twist, whatever it may be, keeping the left hip back. Good. Inhale back to center. Stay in Utkatasana. And then twist to your left, keeping your right hip back. Good. Inhale all the way back up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, look halfway up. Exhale, step back to plank with knees up or down. This is the second to the last one. Good. And then make your way into a cobra or an up dog. I always like to adjust my hands, shoulder blades down your back, and back into down dog. Good. Inhale, lift your right leg up behind you. Exhale, step your right foot forward. Notice how when you do it a second time, how you just fall into it. And you're going to take your palms back, palms up behind you, and reach your heart forward like you're taking off. And then inhale all the way up. And then reach forward a little less with your chest, palms up behind you. Inhale up. So guess what we're doing? You're going to step into your right foot, and you're going to take off, lifting your left leg up behind you. Just being here. Being in a place that's maybe not so solid. Stepping into an idea. Take a breath. And then step back and all arms up and all the way into warrior two. Good. Take your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers, lift your heart. Exhale and fold forward. Get really a nice stretch in your hips, gliding your heart forward, your hips back. Press your feet down to come all the way up. Exhale your right forearm to your right thigh, reaching all the way over. Take your bum back and all the way into triangle pose. So we've done this. Good. Now you're going to take your left hand to the floor, make your way into a lunge, and lower the back left knee way behind your left hip. You know, we're going to do that a different way. We're going to take your left knee below your hip and come into pigeon on the right. So I want you to walk your right foot over to the left, unless you do it on your back. If you do it on your back, you know what to do. And just kind of set it up. Take a big inhale to release your hips towards the earth. And then exhale right into that pigeon pose. And take a few breaths here. Oh, yeah. See if you can release any tension in your right hip. We're going to be into quads a couple times. One more big, long, quiet breath. And walk your hands back. And let's just make our way right into a down dog. Make sure your dog is nice and connected. Inhale, lift your left leg up behind you. Exhale, step your left foot forward, preparing for warrior one. Right, you know what to do. Your feet are nice and grounded, your hips are squared. And we're gonna lean forward a lot first, right? Getting into the flexors, palms up like we're taking off. And then inhale all the way back up. And exhale back, continuing like that. And inhale up. And exhale back, not quite so much. And inhale up. And now you're gonna look at something that's not moving, lean forward and take off. Take off into a place that's not so stable. A place where you're gonna step into something new, right? Take a few breaths here, even though it's weird. And then step back into your right foot, make your way into warrior two. Hands behind your back, interlace your fingers, lift your heart. Exhale and dip forward, taking your inner thigh bones back, your hips back, your heart forward. Lift your arms up off your back in a nice stretch just about everywhere. Good. Inhale all the way back to center. Take your left forearm to your left thigh, just enough to lift the left waist. Take your bum back, and then make your way into that last second triangle on the left. Good, and just make sure the left waist is lifted, your feet are grounded. Good. Exhale your right hand to the floor, make your way to a lunge, lowering your back right knee, and now you're gonna come into pigeon on the left. So you're gonna walk your left foot over to the right and lovingly lay her down. Now, if you have to do this on your back, you come onto your back, bend your knees, and you cross your left ankle over your right thigh. Lift your heart, release your hips, and make your way quietly. Close your eyes and settle into pigeon. Pigeon is a pose you want to stay in for a few breaths and just see where it goes. Take one more big full breath here. You Hips will say thank you. And then clear it out any way you like, in dog or in table, because we're going to come right back into a quad stretch now. So you're going to come through plank and all the way on to your belly. And this is where you might want your strap. You'll decide. So I'm going to take my left forearm across my mat. And bend my right knee and kick my right bum. I'm already in my right quad. You don't have to go any deeper. If you want to go deeper, you can grab your foot with your hand or take a loop in your strap and loop the strap around your foot. Okay, you decide what you need to do. Now, if you can take your right hand and kind of flip your palm out, that'll be better for your shoulder. And either press your foot back into your hand and resist it with your hand, or I like to just take my hand a little bit closer to my foot and just take it a little closer to my hip. Press your foot back and just breathe into your right quad. Yeah. So however you do it is all delicious, right? And release. All right. Just kind of stack your forearms under your forehead and undulate your hips right and left. Now we're going to take the left knee back. So you're going to come onto your right forearm, bending your left knee. And you can stay right there. You can take your strap to the left foot. You can press your foot back or closer to your hip. I like to even open up my palm inside my foot. So my palm is away from me. That affects my shoulder. And just take a nice stretch here. Take a few breaths here. Right into that left quad. Oh, yeah. And release. Now make your way into a child pose, a well-earned child pose. Knees wide, big toes together. Take your hips back. Just release your heart towards the earth. And just take a few breaths here. Make your way now back to table. Take your knees together, coming onto your left hip. And then you're just gonna roll around so that we're on our bum, okay? Take your knees or hands around your knees and around your low back. So you're gonna take the top of the pelvis back, really engaging your belly. Yeah, and you're gonna hold on to your knees as you just lower and lift and lower and lift, or you can just do it without. You can extend your arms, but the top of the pelvis is what tips back and you get right into your core. Exhale. Good. Exhale. Just notice. 8, 7, 6, 5. Just breathe into it. Take a break anytime you need a break. And now we're just going to go right and left. Reach. Now you can hold on to your knees or hold on to the earth, just like we did in reverse table before. Or you can take a break. Breaks are really good. Good. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Oh yeah, that's. And then roll all the way down onto the earth. Oh yeah, draw your knees towards your chest and take circles with your knees away from each other. Big breath here, good. Oh yeah. Take your feet to the earth, walk your shoulder blades together. And I told you, we're gonna come back to our bum. This is what we're doing. So press your feet down, lift your bum, and you're gonna reach your shins forward. And you're gonna just lower and lift. So as you lift, not only are you squeezing your glutes and your core, but you're reaching your shins forward. Just one last thing here. Good. 8, 7, 6, 5. Good. Just release your back. 2. Last 1. And I just want you to shake it side to side. Just roll your hips side to side, releasing any tension you might feel in your low back. Take some big full breaths here. And then lower one vertebra at a time. Take your arms to T, lift your knees, and drop your knees to the right. Gaze to your left. One last basic twist before we're done. Just wring out those old attitudes, planting the seed of a new intention. Inhale back to center. I like to slide my bum to the right a little bit, but lift your knees and drop to the left. Reaching your right hip away from you. Good. Inhale to center. I like to lift my bum and just reach my bum away from me and roll from the top of my pelvis to my tailbone to the earth. Take your arms, palms up beside you. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. And right into Shavasana. And take rest. Start rolling your wrists and your ankles. Inhale, extend your arms up over your head. Exhale through your mouth. Good. Draw your knees to your chest and roll to your right side. Just be there for a moment. And make your way to a comfortable seat on your mat and bring your palms together to your heart center with your eyes closed. When we're grateful for everything we have, it's easy to give. And it's always the right time. The light in me honors that light in you. Namaste. Ah. Ah. All right, let me turn off the recording.